Hi Aquarius, this is your monthly forecast for the month of July 2016. Thank you so much for tuning in. Before we get started, briefly, I just wanted to remind you guys that this is a... Yes? OMG! So just very briefly, before we get started, I just wanted to remind you guys that this is a general forecast for July for anyone born under the sun, moon, or rising / ascendant sign. They're the same thing, in the sign of Aquarius. But if you have not looked at your birth chart to see what your moon and rising sign are, but you know that you were born in either February or March and then you're an Aquarius, there's more to you, okay? There's more signs that can make up you as a unique person. I have put a link or two below in the description box where you can pull up your free birth chart and see what other signs are dominant in your personality that make up you as a unique person, astrologically speaking. And yeah, so don't forget, look at your other horoscopes for either your moon or your rising sign if you end up looking at your chart and knowing those. And also, if you don't really understand what your chart says about you, I would love to interpret it for you. Shoot me an email, which is also in the description box below, and I can let you know how you can set up a reading with myself. All right, now on to your general forecast for July. All right, Aquarius, so this month, your biggest focuses are going to be on work and health and your day-to-day activities in life. And then it's going to shift into one-on-one bonding with other people. That can mean relationships like love and romance. It can mean business partnerships, or it can just mean you're a little bit more popular during this time. So let's break down the energies of the planet's activities and see why that is. Okay, so Aquarius, for you, your 6th house is in the sign of Cancer. That's because if you count Aquarius first and count 6 signs away, it's the sign of Cancer. Now the 6th house is the house of work environment. It's also your health and your daily regimes that you do to take care of yourself. It is doing things repetitively, continuously, on a day-to-day basis, like your routines, okay? And yeah, the work environment that you work in. So with the sun there until the 22nd, you're going to see things in a brighter view wherever it transits. So the sun is going to point out to you your work environment. You know, does something need to change in that environment? That can even mean like rearranging things in your desk, your work area. Also, if you are trying to get a new work environment, like get a new job, the sun in the 6th house is an excellent time, because wherever the sun travels, it's also where you can shine out the brightest as well. So in the work area, the work sphere, the career sphere, if you're trying to get a job, this is a good time for you to be seen. Put out those resumes, okay? Like crazy, put them out. And you will have a better chance during this transit to get those interviews going and land a job. Also, this is your daily routine. So if there's anything that you need to change about how you take care of yourself on a day-to-day basis, hey, you're going to start seeing that. Maybe you need to change your diet. Maybe you need to start a new exercise routine or regime. This is also, you know, the 6th house is an energy of workaholic. Being a workaholic to where you sacrifice yourself and your health in order to get work done and completed. So you can run yourself ragged. So this might be something that you may try to like naturally gravitate towards during this time, but you may need to stop and take a look at that and say, look, work is important, but so is my health and my body, because if it's not together and operating properly, how am I going to get this work done going forward, like continuously? So great time to look at your health, Aquarius. So Venus is going to be in your 6th house until the 12th of July. Wherever Venus travels, it's how you're enjoying yourself. It is love and relationships and how you can meet someone if you're open to them. Now, Venus in the 6th house, this is a good time because Venus rules like your appearance, you know, taking care of yourself, to beautify yourself, to make yourself look good. And with it being in the 6th house of health and daily routines, hey, a great time to even more energy for like getting a gym membership or maybe changing something about your diet so that you look better, that you feel good, you're healthy on the inside, and that reflects on the outside. I mean, on the mundane level, it can be like you find a new like facial cream, or you know, a new face routine. This can be a time where you know, there's a lot of on YouTube, there's a lot of those like beauty gurus, those people that do videos that show you how to like their face washing and face care routines and things like that. So, or even like fitness routines. You can find all that stuff on YouTube. So this is a really good time to find something that resonates with you and your life and how you can better take care of yourself. Now, wherever Venus travels is where you can meet love, possibly. So with Venus being in your work area, you can have a office romance happen, or you can, you know, find love like while you're working in some sort of way. If you work in a service industry, for example, which the sixth house says rules service, maybe a customer comes in, you know, that might be a regular, and you guys finally spark something up, like a relationship, or let each other know that you're interested in each other, or you may just like lock eyes with somebody one day while you're serving them or doing whatever you do at your job to help them, and it's just like, wow, like really, am I really meeting someone at work? So, you know, that's something that can happen at this time. On a negative side, with Venus in the sixth house, if you are already in a partnership, the sixth house is an energy that can be pretty nitpicky at times, just being honest, and maybe picking like petty arguments with another person because you notice all the little flaws about them and they kind of irritate you and agitate you, or you may feel like you're coming off like in a way that's supposed to be helpful by pointing out flaws and letting them know what you see that's wrong with them, and they take it completely the wrong way and like, why are you picking at me, you know? And Cancer energy, where this is at, always tells people, why are you picking on me? They really think people are picking on them all the time. So just be careful if you are in a relationship not to be too nitpicky and too nagging to your partner. So Mercury is in the sixth house until the 13th of July. Wherever Mercury travels, this is your communication, your thoughts. It's also like managing things and organizing, getting things in order. So it's also a busybody energy. So he keeps you busy, like mentally active and maybe even like physically active, not like super like sports physically active, but just like moving around and doing a lot of things in whatever area he transits. So he's going to be in your sixth house of work. Whenever people have Mercury transit the sixth house, let me tell you, if you are in customer service, you're going to get a lot more calls. Wherever you work, if you have a boss over you, wherever it is, you're going to have them come through and ask a lot more of you. Can you do this? Can you do that, Aquarius? I know you can handle this, so I'm just going to give you more work right now. Work, 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 process, process. You're like, oh my gosh. This can also be your mind is on finding a job. This can also help you out in interviews. You know, if you have job interviews at this time, with interviewing with people, or interviewing people if you are an employer, Mercury, which is communication in this house of work, can definitely give you a boost with being able to quickly, you know, come up with answers to those interview questions, especially, or to come up with the questions. To come up with the questions if you are the person asking them. So Mercury in the sixth house until the 13th. So for my Aquarian people, there's a new moon that happens July 4th in your sixth house as well. And new moons bring new beginnings because it is the sun, which is paternal, the moon, which is maternal. So a dad and a mom come together, they birth something new, right? They give light to a new situation in whatever area it transits for you. So for you, it's in the work environment. So this can be a new beginning. You bring new people on board within your business, or maybe you find a new job if you are working for other people still. This can be just a change in your work environment, like maybe you change departments, maybe you change your desk around, maybe you have a new coworker come in, a new manager come in, because it's like the immediate work environment. But also, since it is your health and daily routine, this is an excellent time to change something within your way that you take care of yourself. Like new moons are a great time to do those detoxes, like a juice cleanse or something, if like, you know, your health permits or doctor permits doing that. So detoxes, juice cleanses, starting a new diet, excellent time around the new moon in your sixth house. So towards the middle of the month, the energy will shift into the sign of Leo, and that is your opposite sign, which means relationships. Hello, Aquarius. So let's get into that. So Venus moves into your seventh house in Leo on the 12th of July. And wherever Venus transits, you know she's all about relationships, relating to people. So if you are single, Aquarius, you are going to be noticed a lot more. You are going to be attracting people to you, no matter if you want to or not. And if you do like pay attention to your appearance and how you appear to other people, how you're, coming off to other people, then this will give you an extra boost of attraction with attracting someone to you if you're open to that. It's also a good time if you're already in a relationship to appreciate your partner a little more, and start really spending time with them even more, some quality time. You might feel even more lovey-dovey and like having a lot more gratitude, giving them gifts, because Venus rules like material things, like of monetary value. So maybe buying gifts for your partner, or they might be doing that for you, because wherever Venus transits, like in that house, it's like you are radiating that off of you and doing that for other people, but you're also attracting it to yourself. So this is a really good time for love. If you are not dating, or the dating stuff doesn't happen for you, this is a good time to just be a little more popular and hang out with friends, with just people one-on-one. It doesn't have to be a love partnership. It's also a good time to negotiate new business partnerships and deals as well. So Mercury moves into your 7th house of relationships in the sign of Leo on the 13th of July. So Venus and Mercury together in the 7th house. This is also a very creative energy. So if you are in the arts, and the 7th house is an energy that's similar to Libra, and Libra is really into the fine arts, fine things, aesthetically pleasing things. It's into music and dance, and also into fashion. Libra is very into fashion, like really making your appearance so attractive that other people are always like, wow, this person's always so poised and, clean and confident and looking good and like just ready. Like you are just always ready for love, okay? That's the energy of the 7th house. And like a Libra type of energy. So Mercury and Venus there can be a time where you enjoy more of like the fine arts, and you are really like shopping and putting your look together a little more to be more attractive to other people. But Mercury in the 7th house is also an energy of wanting to see eye to eye with other people in conversations and be like on the same common ground with other people. So you may be less argumentative, if you're that argumentative type of person. Aquarius, usually it's like you stand your ground with your points. You're a very intelligent person, you're very cerebral, and Aquarians usually like really know their stuff. But since you're a fixed sign, Aquarian energy can be kind of like stubborn with what they know and be like, I already knew this, I already know this, like why are you trying to tell me? But you may be like less like that and more like, okay, like wanting to see the other side, because the 7th house is like a mirror of the self. So you may like want to be like, oh, okay, I see your point of view now. Like you see your point of view and you see another person. So it's a great time to be very diplomatic in that way with Mercury there. And Mercury does also have to do with negotiations and speaking. So business deals, this is definitely a good time to manifest those. So the sun moves into your 7th house on the 22nd of July. Wherever the sun moves, it's like a big old light. Like, hello, I see everything in this area now, the good and the bad. So this has to do with relationships, how you relate to people. So this can bring attention to yourself. Other people will just be paying more attention to you. This can also make you seek out partnership if you're open to that. Or if you are in a partnership, you can see things more clearly as far as where you guys stand in your relationship. You can see the good and the bad. Maybe the things that like annoy you about each other, you might see that more clearly and see like, are you a good fit for me? Am I a good fit for you? And what have you. So the good and the bad will come out and come to light, during this time. But from what I see, it can be mainly positive, because you got the supporting energy of Venus there and Mercury kind of helping things along with, being more loving and being more communicative in a relationship. So the sun in the 7th house is definitely a time where you can attract love and you can give love and light back to other people if you're open to that. So Mars continues to be in the sign of Scorpio, but this time it is direct this whole month. And this is your 10th house of career. So I'm mentioning this to my Aquarius people because this can be a time when you are a little bit more aggressive. Like when Mars was retrograde the last like couple of months in this sign, you may have had to hold back some of your authority, because the 10th house is like your position of authority in the world, position of like a top dog, a CEO, a boss, And there may have been times where you were challenged, your authority was challenged, and you may have had to kind of hold things back, or when you wanted to just like fight back, it feels like something stopped you and your energy just like fizzles out, right? So this is the time where now you can fight those battles again. And with the seventh house energy being very diplomatic and wanting to just work things out with people and negotiate and not be so like, you know, argumentative and challenging people, charging at them, it'll soften things up a little bit with Mars in the 10th. It's going to kind of challenge that energy to say, hey, you know what, like, you may be up here pointing your Mars arrow at people and be a big boss, but don't forget to kind of try to see things from their side and their point of view and actually talk things out instead of just charging full speed ahead, like angry or aggressive, you know. But Mars in the 10th house is a great time to get some action completed when it comes to career, finalize things when it comes to your career. It is, like I said, an energy of like authority. So try not to abuse the power of Mars, because you can really come off as like really strong, like authority and powerful, and you don't want people to get the wrong idea or for you to like really upset them, you know, or rock the boat in the career sphere, especially if you work for other people. You could feel like extra bossy during this time, and if you're not a boss, it may cause a little problem. So just be mindful of that. Mars in the 10th paired with all the energy down in your 6th house of work can definitely get a lot of work accomplished. There is a full moon in the sign of Capricorn, which is your 12th house, on July 19th. This is at 27 degrees Capricorn, so it's making a square aspect to Uranus in Aries, okay? And squares are challenging, but they do promote growth. And Uranus is an energy that is it's all about sudden changes. It's calling you to just kind of flip the script, so to speak, you know, in your life, in an area that's kind of been stagnant. And with a full moon in your 12th house, and Uranus is in your 3rd house. The 12th house is hidden. It's all about going deep within and kind of being introverted and looking back in retrospect a lot. It's also like your relaxation, how you take care of your spirit and your soul. So a full moon there, it can bring messages from the other side, from the unseen world, especially with the aspect to Uranus. Uranus is in your 3rd house of the thinking, the mind, you know, rationality, logic. So Uranus is also sudden flashes of insight when it aspects the moon. So you will get a sudden flash of insight that you may have to just kind of chill out and go really deep within yourself and be in isolation to find an answer or a solution to anything in your life. You know, it may come all of a sudden, but it will clear the way and bring things to a final decision to move forward, especially because next month there will be a full moon in your sign in August, and this is going to affect, you know, it's going to be a final decision in anything in regards to your life path. So with the full moon this month being in your 12th house, this is like something to prepare you for the next phase in life. You know, it's kind of like a look ahead, a futuristic view of like what is to come. Just be prepared for that. All right, so next I'm going to do something brand new, and I know my Aquarians love fresh and new and different. So I'm going to pull one angel tarot card for you guys for the month of July, just to tell you what is the overall message, what's the most important message for my Aquarian people this month. So let me shuffle. I'll be right back. All right, Aquarius, after much shuffling, I came up with a card that tells what your overall message is for the month of July, the most important message, and it definitely goes along with the astrology of the month. So I'll show it to you. It is the 8 of water, and I know it's probably hard to see because it's kind of darkness in here. But there is a figure, a merman or merwoman, mermaid, whatever. There's a person, okay? And if you can see, they look to me like they have exhausted all of their efforts where they are. Those 8 cups are empty. They're all empty. And this person looks like, what's next for me? What else should I do, you know? Then they come across this light shining down from the surface down to the, you know, beneath the surface on the person. And they're kind of floating towards it, kind of tired, You know, that's how it appears to me. The message on the card is a desire to move on, the search for something more meaningful, spiritual and emotional growth. So to me, this card definitely goes along with the astrology of the month, because we have your sixth house of health and daily routines and work environment highlighted. So this can be definitely in regards to work, even though this is water is emotions, right? But this is growth, like within job, within career. Mars is in your career house going forward now. So maybe Mars in your career house brings a really big opportunity to pursue, because Mars loves to pursue. So, and then, you know, the sixth house of work highlighted at the beginning of the month. Yeah, you may come across an opportunity, a job opportunity. And then we have, you know, the moon and Uranus square that brings a sudden insight into your life, you know, and the 12th house is reflection upon your life. The 12th house is the deep emotional water, and the moon is there, which is your perception and your thoughts. So something is definitely going to change big time for my Aquarians this month, and I feel like it is career related. Like this person, when I pulled this card for people before, it's like they ask about their work and, you know, situation. Should they continue working at this place? And this card has came up, and it's like, this is your answer. If your work you're doing, the place you're working at, you feel like you've already done everything you can do there. You've exhausted all of your efforts. You don't really get like much pay raises anymore or recognition. Then maybe that's not the place for you anymore. Maybe the empty cups, you've exhausted everything. You need to move on. You need to be in a better position. So this is definitely a message to my Aquarians for this month of July, is move on and change something with your career, your work environment, for sure. All right, Aquarius, well, that wraps it up for July. I really hope this was insightful or helpful to you in some sort of way. And don't forget to subscribe if you would like to see monthly horoscopes from me every single month, because I love doing them. And also shoot me an email if you want me to look at your life and on a more personal level for your unique chart. I would love to do that as well. All right, well, take care of yourselves. I'll see you guys in August. Peace.